Net. Today I am going to show you a couple of reports, these PDFs here of some of the calls that my other system algorithm has flagged, and just wanted to confirm some theories. First, let's talk about today. The NASDAQ 100 got clobbered, which pretty well has a lot of the big tech companies in there that were really destroyed today. Biggest market loss in a while. So the NDX is the NASDAQ 100, and we're going to do a comparison between that and the GSP, which is the S&P 500. Now, this is quite interesting to show you some of the theories here. This right here in blue is the S&P 500, while the NASDAQ has always underperformed. The S&P has always underperformed the NASDAQ. So when you look at this, this gets quite interesting. Now, this is a 6 month since 2017, all of 2017. And then we get into a more long-term view, 1 year. Again, the NASDAQ is outperforming the S&P 500. And now we get into a 3-month view. So the spread gets a little tighter. Still correlated because the NASDAQ 100 represents the entire stock, all the U.S. market for now, for performance. But now we start to see something strange. This is a 1 month. Guess what? The S&P 500 starts to outperform as of around here, June 8th. June 8th, the S&P starts to outperform the NASDAQ. So this report right here is very useful just for that. Here's the 5 days. So again, the S&P is still outperforming the NASDAQ. Okay, so interesting. Next one. So I don't know if you've heard the announcement today about the Sky out of UK. The government said that Vox is not a suitable suitor for Sky, which is owned by the Murdoch family. So here we've got in blue the EWU, which is the general ETF for media in the States. So I thought that would be an easy benchmark against Sky out of London. And this again is a 6-month view. So in red we have the ETF, the EWU, blue is Sky. Okay, so here we go. We're Sky. Oh, sorry. They must have done a recalibration here to get this performance. Or sorry, Sky. Something happened in Sky. I'm not going to correlate, but again, you can see that EWU probably has. It's quite an interesting chart here. How it just jumped up like that. But you can start to see that's a 12-month view. They must have recalibrated the fund. Anyways, here's the 3-month view. So here we can see that the ETF has started to outperform Sky as of April. And then here we go into a 1-month view where, again, the ETF, the media ETF, still outperforms. Sky is now outperforming the ETF here in early June. Okay, so this is a week view of Sky, and here's the one for the ETF. So you can suddenly see that Sky has accelerated performance since yesterday, which when that announcement was put out there. So interesting chart, no big impact, but something to compare. The next chart's quite useful. Here, this is the U.S. dollar against the U.S. dollar against the yuan, Chinese yuan. So here in red we have the 50-day moving average, but the interesting one to watch out for is the relative strength indicator, which is pretty well spot on. So you can see here, once we hit a historical overbought level, it does go down. So as it climbs, you can tell that that RSI seems to be working quite nicely here historically over the last 6 months, because over the last month, the PBOC has been defending the depreciation here. It started in May. The depreciation that the yuan has been taking. So the PBOC has been fighting it, defending it, has come up a little bit and still has gone down. So the Chinese government's done this historically before, I believe around here at the late of last year. So interesting news to watch there, to see how maybe short the yuan, if that's something that you may want to do, because it looks like it's just getting clobbered here. But of course it depends upon the economy within China and the overall demand, where they're trying to get their economy to be less export driven and be more service driven. But if I had access to the data coming out of China, I'd be able to watch that closely. And again, that would be coming through, most likely through trading economics, as I can advance those watches. So if it works out, I would probably short the yuan if you can against the US dollar against the yuan. Looks like it is depreciating here, and quite interesting as well. There's not a lot of other calls that I can see out of that, but that may be an interesting call. All right, I'll talk to you later. Hopefully this will help you out for today, June 29th. Over and out, and hope you like the new charts.